guys, welcome to my first Flawesome Friday. The reason I want to do this is just to get to know you guys and just to tell you my journey and why I decided to start up Grit and Grace Wellbeing. So for me, this has just been something I've always been passionate about ever since I had my first child, Savannah. So my oldest, Savannah, is nearly 11, but before I had her, I just didn't really love myself very well. I was more into the binge drinking. I would skip lunch to eat chocolate cake. I was just more concerned about like the calories, but not actually what I was putting into my body and how I was feeling my body, or acknowledging how my body was feeling. I also just went through a lot of stuff as a teenager. I went through anorexia, then I went the other direction, where I went to binge eating, and then I just couldn't control it. I just didn't know how to eat and how to eat properly. I just had no idea. But when I had my daughter Savannah, I was like, man, I just want to change. I don't want her to go through this. I don't want her to not love herself, not look after herself. So it's really set me on a journey in the last 11 years, learning about how my body feels when I eat certain foods, what movement feels good for my body, and just really seeing, okay, I need some more sleep at the moment. But every mother was saying amen to that. We need more sleep. Just the importance of sleep, the importance of water, but the most thing, the importance of like my mindset of what am I telling myself, what am I believing about myself. I've just found that just super important when that negativity comes in, when that overwhelmingness comes in, that anxiety comes, like, hey, this is not right, this is not who I am, what's going on. So I wanted to create a community where people feel safe, they feel like they can come, they can just be who they are, that they can have conversations with people, be honest with what they need help with, or hope what's going well for you, how can we help each other. So it's really what I wanted to start Grit and Grace Wellbeing about. And just for mums especially, I've just found I've got 4 kids. I'm just learning how to love myself well while having children, because quite often I find with being a mum, we can put everyone else before us and put ourselves last, and then we just feel frustrated and angry and we lose our energy and our motivation. But what I've learned is actually I need to look after me, number one, and then I'm a better wife, a better mother, and a better friend. So I just want to share some of that journey as well with you, just going through how I've navigated that and what I found, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and you guys might have something you want to say too, the journey that you might have been on. I'd love to hear your stories. So just honestly, get in communication with me, tell me where you were at, what you need help with. I'd love to journey with you as well. So that's awesome, guys. And also what I wanted to share some life hacks and things that make life easier for me too with having kids. And if you don't know, my husband and I actually pastor a church as well, so we do that too, and then we decided to start this business up. So it's a super exciting adventure that we're on, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of that. And the reason why I decided to do Pilates and barre and stretch and some HIIT, it's a good mixture. I found for ages I was going to the gym, and I'm quite competitive by nature, and I was just pushing myself. And I actually was pushing my body beyond its limits, and I wasn't actually having good form in that. And I created a lot of damage, especially in my upper back and in my hip area. So I've kind of spent the last 2 years journeying, re-strengthening that, kind of getting those connections back and building that strength. And talking to a lot of mums, the same thing, that they've got problem areas in their hips and in their back. And so I've just found through Pilates there's been a lot of healing and restoration in my body, getting those connections right and just being engaged and being in the moment and doing that. But also with the stretching out a little bit more. I used to be the person that just never stretched because I'm like, that's not doing anything, I'm not seeing any effect, I'm not sweating, I'm not doing this, so I'm just going to scrap it all together. So my poor body like seized up on me a couple of years ago when I ran a half marathon. I was just getting swelling, I was just in pain, and so I was like, okay, something's got to change. But I did find out then too that I had a low thyroid, which just totally for me was a huge hit, because I was someone that just loved health and nutrition, and like, how did I get to this point where my body was so fatigued and so overrun that I pushed my thyroid to its limit and my immune system has just had enough. So I've spent the last year just looking at how can I naturally heal that, how can I naturally manage that, and look after myself and be aware of, okay, that's pushing it too much. So I find the balance through doing just HIIT a couple of times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. That's all you kind of need at that high intensity. It shouldn't be any longer than 20 minutes, and that's just what the body needs, and it's perfect for that, and it boosts your metabolism. You get the results from that. Then you also need to take it down and do do the Pilates, do the stretching and lengthening, which we all love. And Pilates is real fine toning, and it's getting all those connections going right in your body. And then with barre, it's just super fun way to work out, and especially if you just had a child, because you get to stand up and work out, so you protect that lower back and those abs, and you get to have fun on the bar. And for me, I haven't been a dancer, so it's like reliving a childhood dream of being a ballerina, which I've never been. I struggle to clap in time, so you have fun. But I really love barre, and then stretching out the body. I think we underestimate the importance of stretching. I think that's actually where you get the good muscle definition, is when you stretch well. So it's just enjoying that time to love on your body, love on yourself, and have that nice stretch. So I hope you come and join me, especially if you live in Upper Hutt. Come join me in my in-person classes, but we will be doing online as well. But check out my website. There's going to be some challenges up there, some Kickstarts. I'm going to be developing some more of those. I'd love to engage with you, but most of all, I'd love to hear your story and where you're at right now. Take care, and I'll see you next Friday.